Well, good evening, good people. Mark Holmes here. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's having a great day. It's Taco Tuesday, and I hope all your taco dreams come true. So, this morning, I was watching the Jerry Jones on 105.3 The Fan talking about, all things Cowboys and about the job that Mike Zimmer and Mike McCarthy have done. It's kind of crazy because he was pissed off about what happened with Green Bay last year. And it sounds like he's okay with where we are this year. It doesn't make sense to me, but I think he's recognizing that the fact that we had seven, I believe, undrafted players on the field when Cooper Rush threw a touchdown pass is kind of crazy. So be that as it may, the thing that was the craziest thing that I had heard was they were asking him at the end of the interview about if he's ever had raccoon. And he's like, oh, yeah, my mom used to serve raccoon and things. But he used to also talked about having squirrel, specifically fighting with his sister over the squirrel brains. Now, squirrel brains, I looked it up earlier. Eating squirrel. Squirrel's brains. Let me get this because there's some doctors in Kentucky. Here's the thing. Doctors in Kentucky put out a warning against eating squirrel brains in 1997 after 11 people were diagnosed in the state with a non-variant Creusa fud Joachim disease. All of those people were squirrel brain eaters. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's clusterfuck. It might be clusterfuck. Clusterfuck brain disease or something or other. So he's been risking his life eating squirrel brains. Let me see. The disease is similar to mad cow disease. Oh my God. Okay, this just gets crazier. Which cause tiny holes to fill the brain until the tissue looks like a sponge, which is where spongy form comes from. The infection is always fatal, and most who eat will get the disease around and live around a year. It causes rapid degeneration of memory, thinking, vision, and coordination before causing dementia and death. It is part of family disease caused by infectious proteins that infiltrate the brain. Chronic waste disease in deer and other example. Okay. All right. So anybody out there wanting to follow Jerry Jones, don't eat squirrel brains. Don't eat squirrel brains. Okay. So, I talked about this morning, some 6 hours or 7 hours ago. And Rich Eisen is talking about it now. So I've got to see Rich Eisen and get his take on it. I haven't seen it yet, but let's get his take.
Listen, Tuesdays in the NFL
are crazy.
Have been reacting to the Monday Nighter. And then hearing Jerry Jones on his local radio chit-chat. And sometimes Jerry's real chippy, as we know. Remember, he sounded like he threatened the two hosts that interviewed him.
With their jobs.
And you're like, I can go over your head anytime. I can pull the rights anytime. I mean, we're paraphrasing.
I own this station.
We're reading between his lines there. Other times he's just cheerful, and ready for any action to mix it up. And, now the Cowboys season is down to its final 3 games, the all-in season that TJ, I think you rightfully pinpointed the moment, as you said the other day, very vividly, that the Cowboys season ended the minute the hamstring ripped off the bone inside of Dak Prescott's leg.
When they decide to separate.
And because the season was already on the brink when that happened for the Cowboys in Atlanta back in Week 9. Already on the brink. And so now it's just how are they playing? How are they finishing up? And to finish up, the host did ask Jerry Jones a couple weeks ago, what do you need to see from Mike McCarthy in terms of to evaluate whether he stays? And the same, I guess, it could be said for Mike Zimmer, and the team has been playing better under Cooper Rush. And if not for that one punt snafu, they could be on a win streak with a chance to put a scare in the 7th-seeded Commanders that they've already beaten. But it sure sounds like Jerry's leaning towards keeping him. This is what he had to say on 105.3 The Fan about Zimmer and Mike McCarthy.
I think you're seeing the best of Mike Zimmer. And maybe, I shouldn't say that. You're beginning to see some of the best, but maybe the best is still ahead of us. But he's been real impressive now, putting that defense together with the attrition that we've had with availability with our players. So I give him that. Mike, I don't know how you cannot say that his team has shown that they'll handle adversity, and he can get you there with the injury situation impacting the availability of those players. I hate to keep repeating that, but it's so obvious, and yet have that team playing at the level it's playing. So, I give them both high grades this year.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the issue. Yes, they have played better, and this is the time when you want to see who's trying hard, and the fact that they are trying hard does reflect well on the coaching. It's just how'd it go when the season wasn't over and the starters were in there?
Blown
Terribly. This
out
just
at
in,
home.
you know what I mean?
Routinely,
And Cowboys season shouldn't be about, oh man, they're plucky and playing with moxie when the season's essentially done. Yeah. That's not what Cowboy seasons are about. But that said, they are playing better, and that may have something to do with whether they're kept or not. I'm curious to hear what Cowboys fans think, but the bottom line is when you hear that, it's like, great. But when the season wasn't toast and their starters were in there and Dak's hamstring was on the bone and CeeDee Lamb was there without his shoulder injury and Micah Parsons was there before he went out and Tank Lawrence was there before he went out and so on and so forth, how'd it go? Not so great. And this is the evaluation the Cowboys are going to have in the next 3 weeks. But they have played better, and you do have to give it up. You have to give your flowers to them in that regard.
Too much, too little, too late.
Maybe so.
Quarterback controversy. I mean, Cooper Rush.
Oh, stop it. We're not going down that road again. How about this one, though? Kudos to Shannon and RJ, who are the hosts of the 105.3 The Fan conversation. One of them, I don't know who, decided to, for whatever reason, ask Jerry Jones about the Xavier Legette. He's the Carolina Panthers wide receiver, and maybe it's just leading up because the Cowboys just spanked the Panthers. I don't know, but Legette, who sounds like an extra from The Water Boy, as anybody knows, from South Carolina, talked about eating raccoon and the delicacy, and Jerry was asked by the hosts if he's ever tried raccoon. Roll tape.
I've eaten a lot of raccoon. Yes, the answer is yes. And I've eaten it hunting. I've actually had it served by my mom at the table away from hunting. And I have eaten raccoon. And yes, it's not uncommon at all. I'll tell you something that is one of my favorites is squirrel. And it's wonderful, and my mother could do a great job of it. And we all had our favorite pieces, and my dad and sister, I have one sibling, a sister, and they would fight over, not fight, but my mom and I, they were just, my sister and I as far as siblings, my mom and I wouldn't even ask for the brain in a squirrel.
Oh, man.
And delicious, seriously.
I don't know what to say.
Okay.
Holy Bullwinkle.
Delicious. Seriously.
Now, please tell me we have.
Oh,
Was
yes.
that a new drop?
We have.
How many drops did we get out of this?
We got 3 out
Okay,
of this.
let's go in order.
All right.
Hit one.
One of my favorites is squirrel.
Okay. Give me another one.
I've eaten a lot of raccoon.
Okay. And give me another one.
Delicious. Seriously.
Okay.
I mean, he has
I don't know.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16,
He's-
17, 19, 20, 21, 22.
Wow, we have over 20 drops.
Here's what happened.
24 drops.
Jerry heard that we were, leaning at Mike Tomlin as our favorite drops on
Yeah,
the show,
yeah,
and Jerry's like,
yeah.
"Oh my,
I can't give you all the ingredients to the hot dog. You might not like.
Certainly,
hold
if
my
there's-
Walker
if there's
Blue and,
squirrel brains.
oh, what?"
One of my favorites is squirrel.
So Jerry Jones's squirrel brains. Is that a new fantasy team? Man?
Shit, squirrel brain.
Jerry's squirrel brains.
Wow,
I've eaten a lot of raccoon.
Okay.
wow.
I don't know how we're going to use these drops, but
I mean, that's
105, 3 to the fan. You never
Settle
know.
down just a little bit.
Yeah, just slow down.
Sort
Yeah,
of gumbo you're going to get.
There is less pie.
Okay. And now there's raccoon and squirrel
squirrel
to
brain.
go. How about that?
That's squirrel brain.
Now, what were you saying in the break, TJ?
Well, I mean, I guess you guys got to understand. There's millions of people who didn't grow up. I guess like the people who are mocking this because I personally I never ate raccoon or squirrel, but my grandfather would tell me stories. I guess Jerry grew up poor. You grew up poor back in the South. You would eat, raccoon, squirrel, rabbit. Like I would hear all of these stories, man. Like I don't think it's as crazy or as uncommon as we're making it out to be. Like I said, I've personally never had it, but I know for a fact. Like Legette's telling you, like, his people go down there and they hunt coon. Like, again, I've never done it, but
It's like alligator in Louisiana.
Yeah, alligator. I don't think it's as
Alligator's good.
as we think.
It's like
So,
chicken.
Some people grow up watching Rocky the Squirrel and thinking that's cute, and some people are like,
Oh, no, he
I
didn't.
mean, trite.
I can't wait to.
Italian.
I can remember one day coming home from
Outside,
school
good.
and my grandpa was in the kitchen skinning a rabbit, and I was like,
What?
"What's Bugs Bunny doing in the kitchen, Grandpa?" You know what I mean? Like, I'd never seen that, and so
In the meantime, though, 3 new drops. Mike, give them to me back to back. Hit the-
Delicious. Seriously.
It's
I've eaten a
delicious.
lot of raccoon. One of my favorites is squirrel.
Okay.
This takes a nice chunk out of the pie.
Oh my God.
Now we're just hitting them all.
I know. That's it. That's it.
Jerry Jones always delivers.
God, I love this job.
Jerry Jones, baby.
Jerry Jones always delivers. What's funny is, see, I got Richard Noggin on X over here saying they asked him about eating raccoons first. Quit twisting shit. I've eaten squirrel myself. Well, Richard, actually, did make sense, man. You've been eating the brains? Because maybe you got the mad cow disease there, bro. So, listen, I'm just saying, it's not the norm. Okay, I can see rabbit and raccoon and even eating squirrel. But the brains? Oh, man. Yeah, but as they said in 1997, don't eat the brains. I'm Mark Holmes, and I appreciate you guys. Peace.